A very good evening to one and all present here. My name is Ragavi and I'm doing my MBA in HR and Finance. I've been working in Taxpoint since 1 month as an intern, and now I'm here on this digital platform before you all to give a small presentation about how artificial intelligence going to affect accounting in future. So let's get started. Yeah. So once again, to present my topic, it is the future of artificial intelligence in accounting. And here we are going to have some interesting topics, and we are going to just see how artificial intelligence and accounting is going to get combined together and start doing magics and wonders. Because when you see accounting and artificial intelligence, they do come under two broad sections actually, where artificial intelligence comes in science broad section and accounting is totally different. So we're just going to see how these both gets combined and what are all the effects this going to be produced. So let's see. The contents, what are all we are going to see today are like about introduction, like what is artificial intelligence and what are all the benefits of it and what is the current accounting status and what is it going to be changed in future because of artificial intelligence, and about robotic process automation, which is like the basic and important topic of this presentation, and some of the case studies related to what I have observed in this research personally, and obviously the impact of accounting in future and some conclusion points. And so like to start off with, so what is artificial intelligence, AI? So artificial intelligence is which refers to a mission process actually, and that stimulates the way humans think, and they are able to analyze the data and make decisions upon it. Artificial intelligence systems are able to process huge amounts of data extremely quickly and even much faster than the human beings, which detect some patterns and they give the business greater insight of what to be seen. So it is not only the ability to analyze the enormous quantity of data in artificial intelligence, but this also they produce some valuable amount of information at the end of the day. Like what humans cannot process, this is being done by artificial intelligence. Like it is literally like making impossible to possible, and that is what artificial intelligence does actually. This process is being commonly used like literally everywhere, anywhere actually. It is being very convenient and it's being user friendly, and also the systems which includes reasoning, self corrections and whatnot. Wherever we see, it is full of artificial intelligence, right from the mobile we use till all the buttons and what are all the creations that we have seen through technology. All of it are being done by this artificial intelligence. And to go more into deep about it, we can see that this artificial intelligence extends the capability of computing of a whole systematic, whatever the process we are doing, it is being able to compute it as a whole. So we can actually see that artificial intelligence is quickly making its way into almost every field in the industry. Like even before seeing the presentation, you might have gone into at least one small point of artificial intelligence where you have used today. Like for example, it can be your you have asked your Siri for this article to be found in the Google, or either you have used your Google Maps to find your routes, or you might have even while messaging or any other process, you might have used your autocorrect, which itself does as a process. So through all these small means of way, what you do is you use artificial intelligence without even your knowledge. But as many of these revolutionary forms of technology is being introduced, there is a fear that what it may represent. Like just as we saw the first mobile phone was introduced, we saw a major huge impact that it's creating, that so many negative energy came, like this might cause radiation, it will cause a health disruption, and there were even so many other things that are being relevant to give negative comments about it. Similar to that, even in this artificial intelligence, you can see that there are many negative impacts also being created, like the advance of what artificial intelligence has created is that the fear of robots being uprised and the power provoked uncertainty about implications of human jobs. The main question is like, what if humans lose their jobs due to the impact of artificial intelligence? So here are some of the basic questions that we have answered in further in the presentation, like what will be the effect of humans when the artificial intelligence comes into process? Yeah, so to be honest, what are all the benefits of artificial intelligence? Benefits, when it comes to benefits, there are like huge benefits we can see, and some of them are listed here, like it enables humans to make predictions based on the patterns and the data, like whatever the data you are feeding into this computer or machinery, whatever, and it is able to get processed quickly than the human, and this make easy predictions than us. Like what example I gave previously is the autocorrect what we use, like before making us to complete a sentence or the word, it gives predictions by itself. So this makes our work more easier. And the next point is that it will help our routine tasks and it can be accomplished on a daily basis. Like, for example, alarms. You can also take alarms as an example, which is actually much needed for many people. Like, if you just set all the process and make it in advance, the next day morning it wakes you up in advance. So this is also to be considered like one of the major benefits of artificial intelligence, that this is this combines with your daily task actually. And the next is that since artificial intelligence helps in intensive data, you get more time to focus on complex tasks. So when you compare with for example, if you take a great research project or any other work, and you have all the calculations or all the machinery works which you can feed the data into the machine and it will process that automatically. So this will save a lot of time and you get time to focus on the things where you need to concentrate more, where you need focus more and where you need time more. This saves a lot of time and makes us to concentrate on every other elements which requires more attention. And this can be considered as one of the main and most important benefit too. So then artificial intelligence is a good fit for those industries which requires error-free approach, like in accounting industry. Of course, one of the error-free approach where we can see is that accounting field, where we need perfections at every steps. Not even a single penny error can be made in accounting. So in such places, artificial intelligence plays a huge role on giving the right thing at the right time without any errors. Like the error free is guaranteed in artificial accounting, and this is for sure, like even many of the people have experienced too, and many of the people have said like how this artificial intelligence have made the process much easier and much comfortable. Yeah, and now the next topic will be the current status of accounting. The current status in the sense like what is accounting and how it is being processed. Like account, when the word accounting comes to the mind, we all get to remember to the basic definition of accounting, like which is a double entry bookkeeping or the process of recording all the profit and losses. And there are like huge definitions for accounting by different authors. So here, when accounting, the basic accounting comes, it is like the issue of paper comes, the papers, the maintaining of records. When record comes to mind, paper comes to mind. So let's return to the main issue of paper. Like manual accounting implies that employees perform the whole accounting cycle, like starting from the basic entries, the journal entries, to the ledger, to the trial balance. From there, when we take it to the final accounts, the whole long process is done manually by human beings, and it is done on a periodic basis. Like what are all the process I told, it is done on those periodic basis. They calculate trial balances, journalize transactions, prepare final statement reports, and other routines, of course. So then it takes so much of time, resources, and efforts in large organizations. When we take company like MNCs and all, they'll have a huge accounting system. Like they'll have accounting from various countries and all over the world. They'll be having branches, and to compile them into a single file, it is to mere impossible task. And for such things only, we start to introduce and we bring computers inside the basic of accounting. Though like people learn to do accounts and they perform accounting activities, when there is impact of computers, it becomes more easier and the task becomes more familiar. And this process, like when the computerized accounting implies, here the employees find easy, like rather than writing everything, recording it, though you need to do them, this becomes easier than the paperwork. So like the current status, like majority of the companies are not yet introduced to computerized accounting, where we can see that like maybe like 30% of the companies have might be started doing this computerized accounting, whereas the remaining are still yet to do. So artificial intelligence and accounting, the magic. Accounting professionals have existed since the prehistoric time. Like accounting has been the basic for anything and everything. If you start a business, the first thing what you'll need is accounting. So it's been a long journey. Like if you see the evaluation of accounting from the historic times till now, you can see that it has developed into huge differences. And now the new impact will be the new huge wave of impact will be the artificial intelligence, because computerized accountings and the process may sound complicated, but when you get into practice, it will just make you like complete every task in a jiffy. And even now the accounting softwares which are being established by many top companies been very useful. Like many top companies have started using accounting softwares and made the process easier for their employees. And usually when employees find tough to do some of the calculations, because usually at big companies and huge places you'll find very big calculations and very big set of records to be maintained. So at such times, during such times, you can see that this artificial intelligence gives hand for the employees, because the pen paper based accounting is definitely not going to work in huge companies. And if you take like literally hours and hours for a single trial balance or a single final account, then how can you maintain thousand and thousand of transactions which is coming in seconds and minutes? You can find in every seconds and minutes one transaction happening in an MNC. So in order to solve that problem, you definitely need artificial intelligence through any form. Like it is not that it's just a software, or even consider using calculators is also like artificial intelligence. Like what are calculators made of? Machineries, of course. The artificial intelligence has started from the calculator, and robotics and many things have been evaluated then. So in every way, in every machinery concept you see, whatever you see will be artificial intelligence. And computer software calculates faster, but it does not know what you will need until you clearly explain it to do what you need. You need to feed them, then only they'll do. Like even if you feed wrongly, if you even if you make the mistake, it cannot be able to rectify it by the artificial intelligence until or unless you give the data correctly. So, in addition to good computerized accounting systems that can cost thousands and millions of dollars. So that's why we can still see that some of the firms are yet into man-made accounting systems and not into artificial intelligence like huge companies, because there are like categories it must be affordable and kind of adaptable by all the companies, which is like kind of tough. And so the next is, what are all the tasks, accounting tasks that the machines can do? So here we have like listed out a few of the important accounting tasks that will need machineries. So first one will be like monthly or quarterly close procedures. Like every company will have their closure positions according to their transactions or according to their process what's happening. Some may prefer monthly, Some may prefer it like quarterly, and some may even like prefer it half yearly or annually. It just depends upon the preferences. For such close procedures, you need to find out right from the single transaction till the final account maintenance. You need to record every penny. Every penny counts. And in order to do that, it will be easy if you record them. From the beginning in the computer and make the process done. Because when it comes to paper, like for example, if you want to find the transaction of February, and when in the month of October, you need to turn the pages and pages and see the dates and all. Like when it comes to computer, you can just simply type the date and enter. The date comes and the transaction of the date also comes. It is as simple as that when you feed into the computer. So one of the main thing is that it saves a lot of time, and this is why accounting task is like majorly done by computer itself. And when it comes to accounts payable, receivable, everything is being feeded in the computer and it stores in mind. Because when it comes to manual process or human process, like humans make mistake. They may forget something or they may forget the dates when we need to pay, like when we need to settle the creditors or when we need to collect from our debtors. Everything cannot be processed in human mind because there'll be a lot of process going on. Not only this, when you are running a company, you need to go on with everything. Every single transaction, you cannot keep it in mind. So when you feed into your computer, it will give you what all the things you need to be done. Then the audit process, generally people who are into auditing, they know like how huge the process is and how much time and manpower resources it takes. And this makes it easy. And the expense management also, which includes like huge calculations and the cost cutting management things and all, it can be handled easily in the machinery works. And all the chatbots have become the new trend. Like the customer care speaking, dialing the customer care numbers and speaking to them has become a very old process now. Like who, come on, who waits for the customer care to pick up the line dialing by pressing number one or pressing number two? Like it is like chatbots have become more familiar now. Many of the online markets and even like telecom industry started use this chatbots for any queries or whatever queries we place. What we get the reply from is a robot, not a human actually. And a very familiar chatbot will be Dasha from Hike. I don't know whether people are familiar or not, like especially teenagers who are into this online application, chat application called Hike. There is a chat bot named Natasha. Like whenever you ask queries or whatever kind of queries you ask, it will give you immediate reply. And people even started to chat with that, like even friendly chats and all. It gives a reply. So these things are called chat bots. Like if it is like a Flipkart, Amazon, Shop Clues, they all start these chat bots for customer queries as well. They just get into with the chat processing. They give the WhatsApp number, they start to chat, and they get replies from the robots as per the feed what they have given. So now chatbots have become the new trend of the online process. And then here comes the benefits of artificial intelligence in accounting. Yeah, so when we talk about one technology basic, you can find both positives as well as negatives, because it is just all about the technology is all about its positive and negatives. Similarly, you can find that this particular artificial intelligence also has its positives as well as negatives. Then, so among the main advantages or the main benefit of computerized accounting or artificial intelligence, we can see that we can just count like it is high speed and the mobility of reporting. It is very relevant. And the reliability also counts, and there is no routine kind of work. It increase accuracy. Like even in man-made calculations, you can find errors and mistakes happening, and due to one small error in one process, you can find that lots of other processes are being affected, and which consumes a lot of time to rectify them and get them back into the track. and definitely this increases accuracy, and the internal control system increases productivity. So, like I say, time is everything. And when for one process you save a particular amount of time, this time can be used for another process. So ultimately, what happens is not only the accounting in a company, when an accounting process gets finished, sometimes the time saved in this process can be used in sales or marketing process. So when the time gets completely tallied and the productivity increases, so then artificial intelligence indirectly increases productivity also. And it has also got some negative things, as I said. Like there is not only like purely positives and all. When it comes to negatives, we can say that it is hugely expensive, and that's why still companies are not able to afford them. And there are even other negatives, like we will be sometimes not able to find the perfect employees or the right employees who can deal with the machineries, because machineries they cannot process all by themselves, right? Of course they need a man or a person who will need to operate those machineries. So finding such intellectuals who can feed the data correctly into the machines is also like very tough task in the present world, and you need a high education and high intellectual for that, to get the right amount of data being fed into the computer. Even if you make mistakes while feeding, it will display the wrong answer only, definitely, because what you'll be feeding need to be right first. And there are like lots of benefits, like artificial intelligence can keep a track of status of orders as well as purchasing. Like you can see that in when you order something in Amazon or Flipkart, it just gives reminder for every process, right from the order getting processed, and like wherever the places it's being shipped. Sometimes if you're ordering a parcel from Maharashtra to Orissa, it will just tell you all the stopovers in between too. So it just keeps track on everything. That's one of the main advantages to be considered. And then it helps the accountants to segregate the data into corresponding categories. Like when it comes to accounting data, you will have a huge set of data, like a very big amount of data, and they all need to be categorized. Like some may be the details of the salary account person, some may be the details of the person who are into HUF, or some may be the details of the persons who are into business or professional. So all these are need to be categorized and segregated. When humans do this process, they find quite difficult, because processing and categorizing is not easy, as we see. Who are into this accounting business will definitely know how tough the process is. But artificial intelligence makes this process damn easy and damn cool for you. Like when you enter the data, it automatically segregates and goes and falls into the separate category. For example, if you just type the name of the person and the data of the person is already in the system, it will just go and fall into the category where it has to be. And then artificial intelligence can do like critical tasks, like audits, tax, and payrolls and banking systems. Even in banking we can see that, like major process what are all the need to be done are done used artificial intelligence only. So this plays a major role in almost all the accounting sectors. And next, so here comes RPA, robotic process automation. So this RPA is considered next to be the future of accounting, because this RPA has now been started with initially with very small means like very small amount of companies. And what is RPA? Like generally people don't have much knowledge about this RPA. Like what is it actually? It is actually a computer application of technology that allows the employees in a company to configure computer software or a robot that captures the data from what we feed, and it just processes the transactions, manipulates the data, triggers the responses, and communicate with other digital systems. Just like just all in one. You just don't need to do anything once you feed the data. It just does everything. It makes the process much more easier than what we think. And in order to learn this RPA, there is also special institutes for robotic process automation where people need to learn this technology before once installing it. And it is a computer coded software, and the programs here are being replaced with the human perform repetitive rules based on the tasks given, so that the work once given in this particular RPA do not need to be repeated again. Once if you feed the information and do it correctly, that's it. You just no need to repeat the task every time. Though it is a multiple process, it will all do by itself. You just don't need to once again repeat the, like once again feeding the data, once again giving the process. It stores everything, so it just delays the time also. And then this there is no paperwork, like literally no paperwork needed, because all the messages feedings informations are kept inside the system itself. And this definitely reduces papers and saves environment. And this being considered like many of the companies are trying to adapt this, and still there are companies who are learning to catch the particular RPA process so that they can implement in a correct way. Then, so how does this RPA are beneficial in the accounting process? Like, what are all its functional area? Like, where are all we can place this RPAs, robotic functions? Of course, financial and accounting process, as I said earlier, it is a major help when you when you just compare with the manual process to this robotic process. You can save a lot of energy, resources, time, and everything. As usual, accounts receivable, then procurement and sourcing, order management, like placing the orders and receiving them, then again then storing all the data, bills, inventories completely. Invoice processing, like if you just type the name of the purchase or what we have done, it just calculates everything and process the invoice very easily. And billing management, and records to report, which is also known as RTR. So these are all the beneficial places where this RPA is being used most commonly. And now let's see how this RPA works. Like, what is its cyclic process? The first process comes like process developers. Like, you need to know first what software you need. Like, people would have from the business, they would have given the hints and points asking for such softwares, like we need these inputs and these outputs to be produced. Can you make such softwares? Like, can you make such softwares and feed it to the robots so that it will be useful for us? So first, the process developers, what they do is they get the information from their clients, and using that, they create their base for the software, like what it's going to be used. They just create the base for the application to be direct. And so the next process will be the robot controller. Once you start developing the software, the next thing you need to feed is the controls. Like if you take an example of a game, for example, if you're buying a PlayStation, first they will create the joystick, right? The base, the joystick. Then the controls are being like left, right, shoot buttons, up, down, every buttons, all the controls are being produced. Like similarly, the robot controls, like this button or this formula is being applied for calculating trial balance, or this formula is being applied to calculate the GST, or this formula is being calculated, is being made to calculate final accounts, or whatever the process you name it. So such controls are being initiated and then being inserted. So next thing is that we just take to the business users before converting it to as an application. We need to make sure that the client, the business users, are satisfied with that. We need to get into the point that whatever they convey to us, like whatever are their needs, the processor will make sure that they have satisfied the business users according to what they have asked for, because that will be main. Satisfaction is the ultimate goal for all the producers, right? So if they get approval, if they didn't get approval, they'll make the rectify whatever the changes need to be done. and if they get the approval, then it is converted into as an application. Once the software is getting converted into application, it involves the practical knowledge. Like you'll be having all the codes and everything being done. These codes are then converted into applications. So this application is now ready to get fed into the robot. Yes. So this application, when fed it into robots, they start to perform the actions. Similar to humans, all the works are being done by the robots. That's the only difference. From humans to machines, technology is everywhere. So it's been a great journey for an RPA, starting from developing into a coding, right from the small words of coding, then turning into application, then feeding them into the robot. This is how the RPA works, and it is like it takes huge time once to get prepared. Like till it's get prepared, it's okay, like taking times and everything. Once it's prepared and into the market, it does the work just like this. So then robotics into tax function. How this robotics is being infused in tax function? Like accounting, auditing and tax is not just great difference, both are like kind of similar, but whereas tax functions include more of accurate process, because all manual, repeatable and this time consuming process are being automated here, which is in fact a great help for all the people who are involved in the business of taxation, because it reduces the work so much. Like when you will be probably calculating the tax filings for an individual, you need to maintain, like record every transaction, check into his bank statements, find out the transactions, call and ask the regarding person like why this amount is being deducted or why this much amount is being credited. It is actually the duty of the person who's calculating the tax. Like whereas when it comes to robotics, certain functions or certain applications are being inserted through RPA, by which all the questions are being answered by itself. In fact, it is predicted that RPA will be the future of taxation function. So it's unbelievable, right? Like people study huge books and write all the CA exams, and finally when they come into this auditing and tax business, when someone says like the robot is going to be the future of taxation, it will be like a huge block to them, obviously, because that doesn't mean that the humans are not having any job in taxation. When the RPA function comes, definitely they'll have in fact more works, because they'll have an additional paper to read. It will be like RPA, like they'll be having an additional qualification of themselves, getting used to such softwares and used to such computerizations in order to face this taxation business. And in case where the IT has already implemented tax function through this technological solutions only, then RPA can enhance its direct and indirect compliance and reporting easily. Many IT companies have already started its taxation business through this process itself. And there are like some firms, auditing firms and taxation firms, who are depending on some softwares. Like they need to feed the data into the softwares, and that will produce the tax what is to be paid. But here you can see that the whole process is going to be done by the robot. This is really going to be a huge change in the taxation function. And here we get to see that how is RPA and what are all the activities that can be executed related to the following indirect and direct taxation function. So when it comes to tax, we can find there is direct tax, there is indirect tax, and all these, under all these, the direct tax and indirect tax, we can see there is more subtopics or subgeneration being divided. So first point will be that auto reconciliation of intercompany transactions. Like there may be transactions from one company to another company, like maybe fund related, like they may be a partnership firm or branches. like one branch from Mumbai or one branch from Hyderabad. And when they have inter transactions, all these transactions being governed and generated by RPA. This helps them to fix the human errors that may occur during the transaction, and review of accounts to ensure the consistency the prior year and no changes. Like one of the major point or major thing in taxation is the consistency of previous year. Like for example, if you take an XYZ maintaining his personal account and paying his taxes, you need to see his previous year and the financial year. You just need to compare. For example, if he is paying higher amount of taxes this year, you'll need to find where he has been got his new earnings, or what are all his new sources of income where he needs to pay the taxes, like why this much amount of difference is coming. So this difference can be found using this RPA. It takes the continuity from the previous year to this year. When it comes to a manual process, it takes, as usual, it takes a lot of time, because you need to take the previous year's account, you need to finalize, check, keep on checking what are all the incomes and what are all the expenses I've done. When it comes to machine, it just does everything just like this. And the next thing will be like analyze the account changes and evaluate potential tax impact. Like what are all the transaction, which are all the which are all the transaction that implies tax, and which are all the transaction that does not imply tax. It will find that quickly and just give a list of it, and populate tax returns with financial data. Obviously it just makes the process of taxation easier. And automated import of financial tax workbook into tax return forms. When it comes to tax payment, you have huge forms, like there will be like so many number of forms need to be filled. And here, this at this process, all these RPAs, how it works, like it fills the form automatically without being needed manual process. And then it just complete non-financial tax return line items and information fields. So where are all the informations are required for the necessary taxation period, it just collects by itself when you just feed the information. And it just gathers and analyze all the high volume data. Like examples of high volume data can be payrolls, fixed assets, and financial systems. Because when it comes to payroll in a company, there may be like thousands and thousands of employees, and you cannot keep everything in mind and process like this person earns this much and he earns this much. So we just need to calculate the salary of that person and just comment like put this much salary to this person. So it won't happen in a faster manner when it comes manually, but this RPA can solve that problem too. And other benefits can be like auto calculated and posting current tax accountings, and then it can be like submitting tax returns and related payments. So right from initiating the transactions and calculating everything till the submission of till the payment of taxes, we can find that every steps has been covered by this RPA. So this is definitely like I personally feel like this is going to be a huge hit when it comes to the taxation process, or when the people start to adapt it with a more positive power. And so next is the like case studies. We can probably now see what are all the case studies that I came through where this artificial intelligence has played a huge role in the accounting platform. So it is said that in research, it is said that the upcoming future of accountancy is going to be completely automation. Like they tested the automation capability of four most popular AI enabled cloud accounting solution, which is available in the market today. Like cloud accounting has become one of the strong pillar of support for huge big companies like Deloitte and TCS and Cognizant. Such companies, they use cloud accounting, and softwares like OneUp, QuickBooks, Sage One, Zero are popular of that. These four are usually popular and emerging cloud accounting solutions available in the market today. And they rank them all against Accounting Automation Index, which evaluates the accuracy of artificial intelligence. And this automatically recognizes the transactions coming in from bank feeds and generates the correct accounting without any intervention. And for example, if you take Zero, when you take the Zero cloud accounting solution, you can find that all artificial intelligence focus, it has been proving an unproductive and inaccurate process. Like basis on one solution, you get to see different types of services that are being provided. And when it comes to QuickBooks, you can find that Intuit's QuickBooks accounting platform that has gone long way to embrace this artificial intelligence, because using artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms to get financial insights quickly in real time, QuickBooks is helping the business to increase their financial understanding. Because QuickBooks, this QuickBook usually assistant provides an artificial intelligence driven chatbot to help the business control their finance and get answers via voice process and type documents, which improves the company's ability to make the customers informed. As I already said that how these chatbots are being in trend today, QuickBooks is being considered as one of the top company whose chatbots are being sold in the market in a very fast manner. And we can also see in some studies that it is proved that the most effective automation index rate is 95 percentage after 5 months of its use, followed by QuickBook, which is 77 percentage, Zero, which is 38 percentage, and Sage One, which is 30 percentage. So once the people start using such softwares, they get used to it. So when they get used to it, the process becomes faster. And ultimately, they prefer more and more of this process. And even they suggest their co-companies or sister concerns to use this process. And this becomes a success. And next thing what we come to see is that despite being very promising, the accuracy of the machine learning, the algorithms, is used most of today's solution and still needs to significance the improvements of efficiency. In order to avoid the accounting errors and really fulfill the promise of automation, they need a small tint of human. Just need a small tint of human, what to say, human intelligence in order to control all these things. Because though you have all the machines for everything, you definitely need a human assistance to control them for sure. So to the next slide, we can see that how will artificial intelligence impact accounting in future? Of course, it's going to be a huge impact, but how? We can see that. And there are researchers saying that it is estimated that by the year uh, 2020, like obviously we are in the 2020 now, it is in the older year, because it is said that many manual tasks such as audits, data entry, banking, and all such other activities, they are going to be fully automated through the use of accounting intelligence, through the use of artificial intelligence based technologies. So we are in 2020 and we can see now almost 75 percentage of all these activities are being governed by artificial intelligence. Like be it banking or be it taxation or any auditing process, we can find that there is the use of technology. Whereas it has not been completely involved with technology, we can say probably 75 percentage of it has been impacted very well. So this has made many workers vary their development, but artificial intelligence are not coming for to take the human jobs. Instead, they are like coming to develop the individual to enhance themselves to operate those artificial intelligence. Like they give the knowledge, they feed the knowledge for the employees to get developed themselves to operate them. So this is not like shutting down from their work. Instead, it is making them grow. Obviously, we can see that. When it comes like within accountancy, rather than making accountancy jobs redundant, it's believed that artificial intelligence will simply take over the monotonous time consuming tasks and free up the human resources to complete more lucrative and higher value tasks such as tax planning, advising, and counseling. These process has to be done by humans, like tax planning, taxation advisory, and taxation counseling. They has to be done by the humans only, because when your clients come and ask for some advisory, you cannot make them sit to a robot and ask for the consultation, because human emotions plays an important role there. This is why there is a always a difference between the artificial intelligence and the human resource. At this place, for all this process, you'll definitely need a human resource. And so yeah, like you can leave all the calculation part and all the numbers part. To be in specific, you can leave all the numbers part to the artificial intelligence, and more get into the part where the human emotions are given importance, like where there is much involvement of human resources, as we said before, like counseling and advising and all. Larger accounting firms have been using this artificial intelligence since so long. For example, big companies like Deloitte and all have been using artificial intelligence process in their auditing since 2015, and they use predictive analysis to gather these evidence and produce the data reports, as well as using this artificial intelligence to automate the accounting systems and financial reporting. So here the task has been a great what to say the task has been a great easier form by using the such artificial intelligence. And accountants can use this process for a better time consuming process, like it can shorten them and develop financial strategy and strong client relationship. Because once you finish the client's task on time, obviously the bonding between the you and the client will be more stronger enough, and they continuously come to you because they know that when they come to this firm, the work is being done on time. So they obviously choose you over the other firms. So this will definitely improve the strong client relationship. And what are all the other impacts or other things? What benefits in future is that it can automate some, like not every process, some accounting process can be done without human intervention. So it doesn't mean that accountants have no job at all. Like some tasks, some particular tasks, you don't need the human intervention. Like it will be completely automated. Every process is being done by the system itself. So accountants need to adapt new methods of operation, and definitely in the future they'll need to accept the artificial intelligence with the open arms, because it's going to lead the future for sure. So they need to keep the mindset that okay, fine, artificial intelligence is definitely going to hit the accountancy sector. Fine. So now it's like, what are we gonna see next is like what is left for the accountants. Like we have seen so much of artificial intelligence, RPA, robotics, everything done. Okay, fine. So what are the results for the accountants? Like where are they gonna go? Is their job being completely shut down? Or there are hereafter there is going to be no human accountants going to take the task, or we cannot see any student getting the CA exam pressured by their parents or teachers? Aren't we going to see any of these things? Definitely not. Like, though there is the intervention of artificial intelligence, as I said in my every slides, I mentioned that without human support, artificial intelligence cannot process. Every accountant has to keep this in mind, and there is no need to get feared or no need to get scared about losing their jobs or any other things. Like having better technology wouldn't mean like anything cannot be controlled. Like that's the where the role that accountants come. Like a new technology has been introduced, so it is the role of the accountant to learn that. He need to learn the process and execute it, and just know like how to process with the new technology and how to adapt it. So even if machines can perform all the calculations, there are initial tasks which only an accountant can do. You cannot expect any machines to come and do all the initial tasks even, because this will cause, already bringing artificial intelligence, that is already bringing computer knowledge into the company, would have costed the company a huge amount. And seeing the specifications, like even initialing all these small works into the computer, will even cost them more, because as per the process, the cost of the computers gets higher and higher. So the minimal process the computer does, the minimal cost is being acquired for this process. So it is like someone who would need to analyze the process and draw the meaningful conclusion, it is being definitely done by the humans. So such process only the accountants can do rather than the machines. So with the rise of artificial intelligence, accountants are expected to move their roles into counseling and advisory, and ensure that they take full advantage of the automation while helping their business grow. Like I already said, that there are some tasks and some places where the artificial intelligence cannot deal with, like financial advisory, or it can be like consulting or counseling regarding these things and all. Only humans can give answers. Like if a client comes and asks, like, I'm facing this much loss because I've been into some business and I've introduced this business, can I go further, or what are all the things I need to correct my losses? Like what are all the things that I can apply in future in order to make profit? Such advisories can be given only by an experienced accountant than an experienced machine. This is a very big point to be noted. uh, and like if someone comes to you and asks for, like, I have this much cash in hand, so what do I need? Where do I invest? What is the right way of investment? How much returns do I get? Such such questions can be answered only by humans, because humans will be experienced in this field. They know what is right and what is wrong in this field, rather than believing a mission, because nobody will come and listen to a mission and take decision. Ultimately they'll need a human at that place. And this is the place where accountants need to concentrate in future, because for all the calculations and all the machines are brought in, come on, it's finished, all those jobs are over. So now you need to focus on getting experience with stuffs which the machines cannot do. That is more important and that is more relevant. And moreover, the accountants have to focus more on strategic tasks like planning the financial budget, capital optimization, process improvement, and more. Because when it comes to capital optimization and all, you cannot leave this task to a computer, because it doesn't know, like, what is the value, what is the value of a particular product. We need to feed them. It doesn't know by itself. So we know the value of the particular product. So we'll need to calculate all the capitals, what are all the investments to be, and what are the financial plannings in future. All these things are need to be done by us. So definitely here the accountants play a huge role, and this will these are the areas where the accountants need to concentrate more in the future. And as I said before, what is next is like, yeah, artificial intelligence doesn't mean that job losses, because artificial intelligence is definitely freeing up accountants, but that doesn't mean that they just need to get out of the company. It is just an addition to the company. Artificial intelligence is an addition to the company. That's it. Because from doing the menial tasks, and this allows them to widen their roles. We can take an example of auditing expense claims, where artificial intelligence can be used to remember and implement a company's expense policy. Like, okay, it is a task being run by a machine. That's it. That doesn't mean that you should go away from the company because computer is performing. At some point of time, that computer will need the support of the human, where at that place human need to be there to solve those problems. And this would mean that accountants would no longer have to look through the receipts and categorize the dates and VAT numbers or GST numbers, everything, because they have their friend. Their friend is the artificial intelligence. They can take the help of it and complete their work. Similar to cloud accounting, disruption in the accounting sector, accounting professionals will have to rethink the profiles. Like, what are all the enhancement that we can do to ourselves in order to cope up with this artificial intelligence? There will be definitely some work where the artificial intelligence cannot perform and the humans can perform. In that sectors, they need to implement their knowledge more to survive, and this relieves the number of hours spent on the administrative tasks and allows them to deliver more value and better service to the clients. Because once you start concentrating on the numbers, the number activities, the accounting process, you forget to do the administrative tasks of your company. You don't know like who visits the company, what is happening, who are all our clients, like, where are they coming from, what is their status. Nothing is known, because you'll be fully busy calculating their taxes, calculating like their capital budgets, or calculating their financial reports. For all these things, now you have got your friend, you have got the robot, you have got the artificial intelligence. So now it will be a job to maintain all the administrative tasks and focus on the growth of the company, of the overall success, not only in the accounting department. You can look in a wider perspective of the company. So this definitely brings a major impact. And next is what's ahead. Like, as we saw, like, what is ahead of this artificial intelligence world, as the topic clearly said, how the artificial intelligence is going to affect accounting in future. Like, what are all the things we can expect in future is the main thing. And to answer that, first, we have this, like, artificial intelligence is already impacting the market sector. Like, it has already produced a huge impact in the market sector and would bring radical changes in the accounting sector with a huge possibility of reduction in cost. Cost reduction is definitely being one of the main point, because where all the cost reduction can happen is that when it comes to manual accounting, of course it includes a huge amount of paperwork, and such paperwork will involve a huge cost. And to avoid this paperwork, mission has come. And so mission will reduce paperwork and all the human resource, extra energy, overtime works, overtime pays off, payoffs, everything will get reduced. So thus, we can expect a much efficient performance of the company in the future. And the SMBs, like small medium business, they don't have the same resources as compared to the bigger firms. So of course they'll struggle little bit to cope up with the artificial intelligence which is being performed by the bigger firms, because they'll attract the clients more. We can find that bigger firms are continuously getting more offers and more works when compared to the small medium business sectors. So the bigger firms have to create their own they'll usually create their own artificial intelligence products using the help of the software engineers on their own. So however, experts believe that in the coming years artificial intelligence would be widely available even for smaller firms at a standard fare. So when something is produced in a large quantity, in a larger quantity, you can obviously find the rate is being reduced. Like for example, if you buy one pen for 10 rupees in a shop, and if you buy 100 pens in the same shop, he may give it for 8 rupees or 9 rupees. So the cost always reduces when something is coming in a huge quantity or bulk quantity. So when there are many companies offering sorry when there is many when there are many companies in need of this artificial intelligence, so the production will become more and thus the price will get reduced. At such conditions, we can expect in future that even the smaller firms get into use with the artificial intelligence. So now this AI is an addition to the accuracy and precision, where it brings any menial and repetitive manual tasks which have already been automated. So no repetitive tasks, as I said before. And there will be a remarkable progress in this accounting sector by the artificial intelligence, and this new world would be well known for accountants long before than self-driving truck drops or invoice in their offices. Like, no more bills and no more tasks or too much of pressure in the mind. Just come into the office, feed the information, get the work done, and just finish off. It's going to be as simple as that. So moving further, how to get prepared for the future. Yes, how mentally, how to get prepared for the future. Like it's going to be a huge blow. How to embrace this artificial intelligence with an open arms. To prepare for this oncoming wave of artificial intelligence, interested accountants can gain the database and from the IT skills by taking specialized projects in their workplace, and they can attend the seminars, completing self-directed learning or taking classes. Like they can start by now itself. They can start from now itself to attend classes or seminars or some projects. They can assign projects to the client. Sorry, they can assign projects to their employees to get familiar with this artificial intelligence. They can get used to it, and this will make this is a kind of preparation to handle the future. Like once you got to know about it theoretically, performing it practically wouldn't be a major impact. Like it would be easy for you once you get to know theoretically about what is going to come in future. That is important. You need to have the basic knowledge, right? Just without having the mere knowledge about it and operating the system will be of no use. You cannot, you'll find it more difficult. In fact, you start to hate that. When you start to hate something, you cannot work with it properly, especially in the field of accounting. You just need to love what you do, then only you can expect a great output from it. And then having a solid basis in data management and a high comfort level with new technologies will give practitioners an edge of artificial intelligence. And this will progress the use, and it will get make the people get used to the artificial intelligence which is going to hit in future. So solid database management here comes like when you get to know more and more about a particular thing, the interest get developed. Like when you start getting to know about more of artificial intelligence, you'll have a mindset that when are we going to try it, like when are we going to access it. This interest will make the enthusiasm more for the employees while working. And the next one will be to able to spot when they analyze or off and deal with exceptions. Of course, when you learn something theoretically and when you do it practically, there will be some exceptions also. So get ready to face all those things. Like if you start to do a process and this ends up in some malfunction or any other thing, that doesn't mean that you don't know how to process it. It is just that there is a mild tint where you couldn't learn the process. Maybe learning or getting the knowledge will help you. So these are all the basic functions or basic mental preparations you need to get through for the for getting into this artificial intelligence world. So yes, that's it for that presentation, and I think we just saw a huge, a huge difference of how it started and all, how the accounting process started, how artificial intelligence has got into it, and how now it's been getting used to it, and what are all the futuristic plan that artificial intelligence has got for the accountants. So definitely, it's going to be a huge progress in the field of accounting. That it will just be a big hit for sure, because technologies have always initially, though they may complicate things, when we get start used to it, it is a great journey. And that's it. Like it has been a great it has been a great journey for an accounting process to evaluate from the ancient times till now. Yeah. So thank you everyone for listening with patience with so long, and getting to know new thing has always been getting to say new things has always been a great pleasure to me. And this research have given a lot of information where I could learn so much more about accounting and artificial intelligence. And I really thank my firm Taxpoint Consultancy for giving such a great opportunity for me to perform this and to know about this and present this in a great manner. And I'm always thankful to them, to my team, who have always been a great support. And I really feel extremely happy on new learning new things, and feeling really elated that you all have got some some information regarding this artificial intelligence in accounting. Thank you. Hope you had a great time listening to it. So stay home and stay safe, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.